Islamic State fighters are taking their battle into the skies. The latest report suggests former Iraqi pilots who joined the group are teaching jihadists to fly captured fighter jets. Now, this is after the Islamists moved ever closer to the Iraqi capital surrounding the city of Ramadi, about 100 kilometers just west of Baghdad, as you can see there on this map that we're showing you right now. But in Syria, it seems that the lengthy siege of the city of Kobani seems to be finally breaking. Kurdish fighters have reportedly halted the Islamic State advance and are slowly taking it back street by street. Fierce battles that have been raging inside the town have now eased, with just occasional gunfire and explosions being heard. As RT's Murad Gazdiev reports.
The Kurdish defenders are reportedly sweeping the city of Kobani, clearing away the last isolated pockets of jihadists still there. According to our source in the city, a leader of the Kurdish fighters, he says the going is very slow because of all the suicide bombers, the mines and the booby traps left behind by Islamic State fighters. In fact, we can show you where they are. They're in those buildings at the eastern fringe of Kobani, hiding in the basements and in the ruins. The bulk of their fighters, though, have withdrawn behind that hill where they're continuing to receive reinforcements from nearby areas. It's unclear what they'll do next, whether they'll risk attacking Kobani again and sacrificing more fighters, or accept a defeat here and withdraw.
The siege of Kobani began in mid-September. For an entire month, the Kurdish defenders withstood the onslaught without foreign help on the ground. Syrian observers say more than 370 Islamic State fighters have been killed, with the Kurdish death toll just short of 300. Refugees fled from the city and surrounding villages, with more than 200,000 civilians crossing into Turkey. And the US-led coalition was forced to step up airstrikes against the jihadists. RT spoke to a journalist living nearby who's just returned from the conflict zone.
You know, when ISIS, this kind of terrorist group, when they lost a fight, they fight, so they usually use another ways, as example, suicide bombs. They targeted people with snipers, especially the border cross with Turkey, because many to close the borders also. When ISIS arrived to my village, as example, the neighborhood village, when the clashes was still going in my village, which is far from Kobani, like 15 kilometers in the south, and they burned my village. In Zravik village, there was a man, he's Down syndrome. So he couldn't understand the situation to flee or to run away from the front line. When ISIS arrived, they beheaded him and put him on the way and take his photo and share it on social media.
The Kurdish commanders in Kobani have said US-led strikes against Islamic State have been strategically ineffective. Ex-CIA officer Ray McGovern says that eventually Obama will have no choice but to send troops to fight Islamic State.
The president says, no boots on the ground. General Dempsey says, no boots on the ground now, but if I feel boots are required, I'm going to ask the president, in effect, to reverse his stand about no boots on the ground. Now, read between the lines. Dempsey knows full well boots on the ground are going to be required. This is a fool's errand, an unnecessary escapade, and U.S. troops, U.S. men and women are going to be dying. You could say no boots on the ground forever, and when the boots on the ground become necessary, it's going to be U.S. boots, and then you're going to have to swallow, or you're going to have to swallow hard and let that happen. Otherwise, we're going to lose earlier than later, which we will inevitably do anyhow.